Greetings, mortals. It is I, Luther, here with another episode of Tapes of the Lost. Tonight, we step beyond daylight logic into myths not meant to be rationalized, only remembered with your skin crawling and your heart pounding. These are the darkest beasts in folklore, the nightmares our ancestors couldn't name away. And when they reappear, it's never by mistake.
They say if you see it, you only have days left to live. No growl, no bark, just the sound of paws, too large, too heavy, dragging across cobblestones and graveyard earth. You turn your head, and there it is, the Black Shuck, a giant black dog tall as a man, with eyes like burning coals, no chain, no owner, no shadow, only death in its wake. The legends of the Black Shuck stretch back over 700 years, rooted deep in the misty, wind-bitten coasts of East Anglia, England, a land known for fog, superstition, and graves too shallow for comfort. It's not just a ghost story, it's a regional curse. And on one terrifying day, that curse walked through the doors of the church. It was August 4th, 1577. A thunderstorm cracked the skies over the towns of Bungay and Blithburgh, two small villages where faith was simple and fear was quieter. That morning, the pews were full, the sermons loud, lightning forked across the sky as the air turned heavy. And then, the doors burst open. Witnesses would later swear it wasn't a man. It wasn't weather, it was the devil's dog. Black Shuck raced down the aisle of Holy Trinity Church in Blithburgh. The beast's massive form threw men aside, snapped necks, and left two parishioners dead on the stone floor. Others collapsed in terror. But the horror didn't stop there. The beast turned its eyes on the stone walls themselves. A crack of lightning struck as Shuck vanished, leaving behind deep scorch marks burned into the church doors. Those marks are still there today. You can visit them, touch them, trace your fingers where something ancient, something wrong, left its signature. The legend exploded from there. Stories poured in across Norfolk, Suffolk, and Cambridgeshire. Every storm brought a new sighting, always the same. The eyes like fire, the silent stalking, the certainty of death within the week. And here's what makes it worse. Black Shuck doesn't bark. It doesn't howl. It doesn't chase, it walks beside you. And if you look down and see paws that don't belong to any earthly dog, it's already too late. Some say it guards ancient battlefields. Others say it's a demon cursed to roam the countryside, dragging the scent of brimstone behind it. And in some darker whispers, Shuck doesn't kill, it marks. People who've seen it report dreams of fire, of eyes in mirrors, and of footsteps outside the window, days before they die. In modern times, sightings haven't stopped. In 2014, archaeologists discovered the bones of a dog 7 feet long, unearthed near an old monastery in Suffolk, buried with care, with fear, with warnings etched into stone. Some say it was just a large mastiff. Others say it was proof that Black Shuck wasn't just legend, it was contained. Once. But legends like this, they don't die. They just wait for the next storm. The cold does something to the mind. In the deep winters of the northern forests, when the snow piles up like silence and the trees creak like they're trying to scream, people used to speak of a creature that doesn't kill you outright. It makes you kill yourself first. The Wendigo, a spirit of endless hunger, once human, now twisted, once someone's father or mother or friend. But they made a choice. They ate. The Wendigo legend comes from the Algonquian-speaking tribes of Canada and the northern United States, Ojibwe, Cree, Innu, and others. And unlike werewolves or vampires, the Wendigo isn't a creature that bites you. It's one that waits until you're starving, alone, cornered by winter, and then it speaks. Not in words, but in desire. It offers survival, not a miracle, not an illusion. Meat. The flesh of someone who didn't make it. And if you eat it, even one bite, that's it. You're gone. Not dead, just transformed. The Wendigo is born out of cannibalism, but also something deeper: greed, obsession, consumption. It doesn't just want food, it wants everything. Descriptions vary, but the core is always the same: tall, gaunt, skeletal, skin stretched tight over bones, sometimes fur, sometimes antlers, sometimes no face at all, just an open mouth that screams the hunger you now share. They're impossibly fast in the snow. They smell like rot and smoke. And worst of all, they remember who they were. The Wendigo has your voice, your memories. It can mimic loved ones, call out in distress, lure in the next desperate soul. This isn't just myth. In the early 1900s, a Cree trapper named Swift Runner shocked Canadian society when he confessed to killing and eating his entire family during the winter of 1878. His cabin was only 25 miles from the nearest trading post. He could have gotten help, but he didn't. When they found him, he was alone, calm, and said he'd been possessed by the Wendigo. The courts didn't believe him. The elders did. There's even a psychological diagnosis: Wendigo psychosis. It appears in historical records as a disorder where the victim develops an insatiable craving for human flesh, even when other food is available. It's real enough that psychiatrists studied it, but vague enough that most modern professionals dismiss it. Still, ask those who live in the remote regions of Canada or northern Minnesota if they believe. The ones who grew up with the stories, the warnings, the rituals. They'll tell you, don't whistle in the woods, don't go out alone at night, and if you hear your own voice calling from the trees, run, because the Wendigo isn't just a beast. It's what's waiting inside you when you've got nothing left but hunger. There are things that live on land. There are things that come from the sea. And then there's the Nuckalavee, a creature so loathed, so feared, that even in the ancient myths of the Scottish Isles, where monsters are plentiful, this one stands alone. It doesn't have skin, it doesn't have mercy, and it doesn't come ashore unless something is about to rot. The Orkney Islands sit just off the northern coast of Scotland, wind-battered, ocean-wrapped, and filled with old stories. But the story of the Nuckalavee, it's different, because it doesn't just haunt dreams, it destroys life. They describe it as a horse-like beast, massive and grotesque, with a man's torso fused to its back like a rider. But this rider has elongated arms, a featureless face, and arms that drag the ground as it lurches forward. But the worst part? No skin, all of it. Muscle, vein, tendon, exposed, pulsing, oozing, steaming with rage and disease. The smell alone is said to make strong men faint. The sight? Enough to drive a person mad. The Nuckalavee was feared not for what it killed, but for what it corrupted. Fields would wither, cattle would die, skin diseases would spread in villages. And always, someone had seen the Nuckalavee first. It wasn't just a monster, it was a curse on hooves. It came ashore during times of drought, when the seas were angry and the people were desperate. No one knew where it lived. Some said the deepest trench off the coast. Others claimed it was kept in check by a sea spirit called the Mither of the Sea. But when the Mither grew weak in summer, the Nuckalavee would crawl ashore, and nothing could stop it. One of the most terrifying accounts comes from a man named Tamas, recorded in folklore archives in the 19th century. He claimed to have encountered the beast near a loch one foggy evening. He saw the shape first, impossibly tall, slouching, wet. As it stepped from the water, he saw its mouth, wide, lipless, filled with jagged teeth, opening and closing like it was chewing invisible flesh. Tamas ran, and only by crossing a small stream did he escape, because that's the only weakness the Nuckalavee has. It cannot cross fresh water. No one knows why. Maybe purity, maybe tradition. But when the Nuckalavee rides, the people lock their doors, douse their homes with salt, and pray it finds no reason to stay. Today, few speak its name aloud on the islands, because it's not just a myth. It's a memory of something that still breathes somewhere in the fog, and if the sea grows warm again, it might ride once more. It starts with a woman. She's beautiful, quiet, graceful. She helps in childbirth, offers herbal remedies, smiles with eyes that don't blink quite enough. But when night falls, she changes. Her skin cracks, her head twists, and with a wet snapping sound, her skull tears free from her body, trailing a mess of organs and intestines like bloody roots. She lifts off the ground, eyes glowing red, entrails dripping. She's hunting. She's the Penanggalan. This nightmare comes from Malay folklore, particularly in Malaysia, Indonesia, and parts of Thailand and the Philippines. And unlike other spirits, she doesn't knock, doesn't howl. She seeps. She floats through cracks in the walls, slithers under thatch, hovers above cradles, always in search of blood, especially the blood of pregnant women and newborns. You heard that right. This monster doesn't want to kill you quickly. She wants to feed on your most vulnerable moment, to drink down innocence, to become stronger. By day, she looks normal, elegant, well-liked, even revered. In many legends, she's a midwife or healer, but it's all camouflage, because the Penanggalan has a secret. She performs black magic rituals to detach her head and travel through the night. The body stays behind, hidden in a jar or closet, stiff and waiting like a puppet with its strings cut. If she doesn't return by sunrise, she dies, which is why some stories say the only way to kill her is to find her body and destroy it. Fill the neck cavity with shards of glass, broken thorns, or salt, so when she tries to reconnect, she rips herself to shreds. It's brutal, but it's the only way. There are ancient homes in Malaysia where people still hang garlic, vinegar, and thorny vines around their doors and windows, not for vampires, not for witches, for her. Mothers in confinement after childbirth are especially cautious. The Penanggalan feeds not just on blood, but on the soul of maternal love, tainting it with horror. And if you think this is just rural fear, think again. Reports of Penanggalan sightings have been logged well into the 21st century, with villagers claiming to see glowing heads bobbing through the trees, intestines swaying, teeth glinting in the moonlight. She doesn't run, she doesn't scream, she floats. And if you feel the air get heavy near your neck while you sleep, you may already be marked. You're walking through the jungle. Sunlight barely reaches the ground. The vines shift behind you, even when there's no wind. You've passed that tree before, twice, and then you hear it, a sound like hooves, but on two legs. You're not lost, you're being led. This is the curse of the tikbalang, a creature from Filipino folklore, part man, part beast, with the head and legs of a horse, and a body as tall and twisted as the forest itself. It doesn't kill you with claws or teeth. It kills you with confusion. It plays with your sense of direction, leading travelers in endless loops through the jungle until they break. And the worst part, it enjoys it. In Tagalog myth, the tikbalang is a trickster, not unlike a fae or a demon. It dwells in remote areas, forests, mountains, mist-covered roads, and guards them with territorial obsession. If you walk through its domain without permission, it makes you walk forever. You'll see the same tree again and again. You'll swear you're going the right way. And eventually, you'll start to lose track of who you are. The locals call this napaglalaruan ng tikbalang, being played with. And there's only one way to break the spell. Take your shirt off and wear it inside out. The tikbalang hates mockery. It loses interest when the rules get broken. Superstition? Maybe. But travelers, even modern hikers, still report strange detours, loss of time, and sudden chills in the forest around Mount Banahaw and Mount Makiling. Places said to be theirs. The tikbalang doesn't just confuse. Sometimes it chooses a human, a person who's offended it, mocked it, disrespected the jungle, and if chosen, the tikbalang rides them like a horse, invisibly, spiritually, pressing down on their life until they go mad. There's a cure, but it's brutal. You must find 3 strands of hair hidden in its mane, pull them without being killed, and tie them around your waist. Only then will the tikbalang release you, and even then, you'll still hear hoofbeats. So if you're ever in the Philippines, walking a jungle trail and the birds go quiet, check your path, check your shirt, check your sanity, because the tikbalang never walks far from its prey. The first thing you hear is the crying. It's soft, feminine, tragic, coming from just beyond the trees, or above your window. Some say it's a baby, others say it's a woman. But if it sounds far away, she's right behind you. This is the Pontianak, one of Southeast Asia's most terrifying spirits, born from tragedy, fueled by vengeance. She is a woman who died during childbirth, betrayed by life itself, reborn as something twisted. Her name is spoken with caution in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore, and her legend is a warning wrapped in grief. She doesn't haunt places, she haunts moments. By day, she looks like a beautiful woman, long black hair, glowing skin, dressed in white. But at night, when she hunts, that beauty unravels. Her skin turns pale, her eyes yellow. Her mouth stretches wide, too wide, filled with fangs. She floats, not walking, not flying, just hovering. And her scream? It curdles the soul. Loud means she's far, soft means she's near. Which means, if you hear a faint weeping outside your window, doctor, not move. The Pontianak doesn't just kill. She rips. Her nails are claws. Her vengeance is surgical. She guts men from stomach to throat and drinks the blood of the unborn. Why? Because in many stories, she was wronged by men in life, betrayed, beaten, abandoned. Her rage is not random, it's directed. But sometimes, she's hungry. And you don't have to be guilty. You just have to be there. The only defense? Nails. It's said that if you drive a nail into the base of her neck, she reverts to her human form, temporarily. Some legends say you can even keep her that way, as a wife. But others warn, if she ever finds the nail and removes it, she won't just kill you, she'll make you feel what she felt. Every moment, until your soul collapses. Even today, people in rural Malaysia hang garlic, needles, and iron tools near windows and doors, old defenses for an old predator. And in urban areas, modern sightings still trickle in. A woman floating near an apartment rooftop, a scream caught on CCTV, a body found missing its heart. No footprints, no suspects, just the silence after the scream. Because the Pontianak is not a ghost, she's not a myth, she's a memory made vicious. And when she comes, she doesn't knock, she wails.
The beasts of folklore are not fiction. They are warnings, carved from memory, fear, and blood. The oldest monsters don't live in the shadows. They live in stories. And stories never really die. Like and subscribe, and leave the lights on tonight, just in case something remembered comes looking for you.